Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Diana Puspitasari from class A, NPM1A21222020. Now I will explain about my research. This research is about the impact of online education on students' learning at university level in Indonesia. The objective of this study was to explore the impact of online education and to analyze the online education on students' academic learning. The study helps both the students and teachers to know the impact of online education on students' learning. Next is about research question. The first is how online education increased students' learning. The second one is how the participation in the online classroom easier than the traditional classroom. The third is how youth or students are utilizing online education. And the last is what are the other factors that have an influence on students learning others than online education. Online education is widely used by people who live in remote areas, people with physical disabilities, and women who cannot participate as regular students in institutions. Students' learning is an activity where students are involved in the teaching and learning process in a course. The aim of this study was to investigate the impact of online education on students' learning and to analyze the way students utilize online education for learning purposes. This study suggests that to improve online technology that is able to foster dynamic learning opportunities for students through online education, several major efforts must be made. It is recommended to have a better distance learning environment that senses the level of motivation of the learner and responds adaptively. Nowadays, technology is increasingly being used both in everyday life and in education. In the regard, education institutions need to utilize the interest to educate, and there is a need for dynamic improvement by utilizing online strategies and techniques. Online materials has a good impact on students. With the help of online materials, they feel they understand the material better and provide lasting opportunities to experience it as a method of knowledge and learning. USA, Taiwan, and many other countries make compulsory to the college students to pick up at least one computer course in their study to enhance their abilities in computing projects. Online education is widely used by people who live in remote areas, people with physical disabilities, and women who cannot participate as regular students in institutions. This online education can be an invaluable tool for learning processing skills because everyone is going through a busy schedule independently while managing their own time. Students' learning is an activity where students are involved in the teaching and learning process in a course. Online teaching is a very dynamic and simple method for the teaching and learning process. In online training, students must control themselves. The disadvantages of this online education is that it is difficult to ascertain the ability level of students even though the results are constructive for increasing talent. In students' learning, there are three components. The first is performance, the second is motivation, and the last is creativity. And now I will explain about performance. According to Oye et al., 2012 clarified that e-learning expands the instructive execution among learners. The study led by Davis and Graf 2005 inspected the connection between students utilizing e-learning and their educational execution. The research suggests that interaction with online education can enhance student-centered learning, encourage students' participation, and create and simultaneously facilitate deeper, more logical and interactive discussion forums in place of outdated face-to-face discussion programs. And the next is about motivation. According to Lens, 1994, personal computers assist individuals to improve or polish their individuals' learning skills. Online training can connect with everyone from the world who can approach such innovation or technology. These online instructions are useful for learning time administration skills by customizing different jobs and tasks. When students do online training, most of them are able to handle their own schoolwork, and they will deal with their opportunities for work on their own. The researcher Chang et al. 2014 said that it is also an easy way for a teacher to teach students because it covers time and distance. Teachers are expected to be able to encourage students to compete with each other, which can increase the level of motivation among students. Students are encouraged to be independent to accept their success. Next is creativity. According to Evenberger and Knapp 2003 proposed that online education are essentially in charge of incorporating creativity into their online educational programs. Online education needs to expect the part of a facilitator instead of the teacher. There needs to be the development of innovations to enhance and support learning, and discovery has taken place more rapidly. E-learning is a great source of learning because it can facilitate students to create the desired skill. E-learning is a potential tool for executing and exchanging information and learning materials anywhere and anytime. This research has the main objective, namely to study the impact of online education on students' learning at the university level, the link of online education with computer literacy, creativity among students, motivation of students toward learning, and performance of students was evaluated by the manual method. This research used descriptive to make it easy to understand. The population of this study has consisted of 300 students of Siliwangi University and Perjuangan University. Simple random sampling technique was used. And 30% students were randomly selected as a sample size, which was 90 students. The researcher concentrates on the investigation and introduction of important information gathered from the examination. Since the investigation was quantitative in nature, along these lines, frequency and percentages were utilized by using descriptive statistical analysis through SPSS for examination of essential information. Keeping in view the objective of the investigation, the analyst has attempted to show the information without integrating her personal likes or dislikes. Firstly, researchers selected the 300 students from Siliwangi University and Perjuangan University by using the simple, and then divided the 300 students into two strata, and by using the simple random sampling, researchers selected the same percentage that was 300 of students from each strata as a sample size, and this is also proportional stratified random sampling when we take the same percentage from each group. After going through the relevant literature, the close-ended questionnaire was developed from the students of Siliwangi University and Perjuangan University at the master's level. The 5-point like scale was utilized to accumulate the information. 25 items were developed from the questionnaire. A pilot study on 30 responses selected conventionally from general audiences was conducted to check the reliability of the instrument. After incorporating the changes as the pilot study results, the items were examined in its SPSS for reliability. The overall Cron batch alpha reliability value for the scale was 932 for 25 items. Researchers personally visited the target population. Questionnaires were distributed to the students of Siliwangi University and Perjuangan University, and they were requested to fill out the questionnaire. And then, for the data analysis technique used to test the hypothesis is by using SPSS 50.0, the percentage or no responses and the score given for each percentage are shown in the table, and the overall total of the percentage or no responses is also shown in the table. All items in the questionnaire tested positive, so the responses of each item were strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree, and other responses were completely, much, somehow, very few, and not at all. Alright, I think it's enough from me. Thank you very much for nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.